Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 6 of What If Naruto Dream to Surpass the Gods. Remember to give this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new series over Anime King. What If Naruto got all of Kurama's power before the Chunin exam? And enjoy that guys. And I also post a brand new episode for making 2 of What If Naruto got a new tail beast from the Shinigami. So go ahead and enjoy that guys. And also remember for new and this is the first time you hear my voice, yes, I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King 2, and Anime King 3. Which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support, and yeah, without further ado, what do you say we jump right in this new episode? Remember, turn on bell notifications to stay posted. Let's start the intro, guys. Let's begin now, guys. So, the last time we left off, Inoichi was with his friends, that being Choza and Shikaku. He didn't like the relationship between his daughter and the ghosts. It wasn't that he hated Naruto or anything was. Far from it. Naruto was a splendid shinobi of his village and kept it protected with his life. But the thing was, he didn't think that Ino was ready for something like that, as he had overheard it. Ino didn't even tell him anything, he had overheard it while her and her mother was talking, as he had not spoken to her yet, knowing that she would behave rather angrily when he talked to her about it. But it was just that she was not ready in his eyes for something like that. The ghost was a very dangerous person in his time. It might sound crazy seeing that he was younger than Inoichi, but his feats were quite impressive. Not to mention, Inoichi had no idea why he was placed as a genin. Perhaps it was some demotion for something he did, but no one really seemed to know what it was. But still, Inoichi could not cold-heartedly sit down and watch his daughter, well, fall for someone like that. It would be too dangerous for her. She was not ready for that kind of world, she might get hurt. So he made up his mind. Meanwhile, Naruto went to go and speak to the fox. Kurama had always found Naruto as an enigma. Since he was younger and he first found out about him, he never really saw him as a demon or a great Biju or anything. He just saw him as, well, Kurama didn't really know. Over the years, he had tried to taunt Naruto to see if he'd get angry, because if there was one thing that Naruto never lose, it was his emotion. He never truly got angry before. So Kurama informed that he was the one that killed his parents when Sarutobi had informed Naruto who his parents were when he was at a proper age. Kurama had asked him if he was angry. The look that Naruto gave him, he said yes. The coldest glare that Kurama has ever seen, judging that he's been around for a long time. The look surprised him. But Naruto said there was no means in wallowing in the past. And Kurama would not tell him why he attacked the village, as Naruto knew there was something there. Well, it was because of Kurama's pride, seeing that he was controlled by that damn mass Uchiha, which he still hated up to this day. But now Naruto sat in his stomach as he asked him about Shikaku. Kurama indulged him and told him that Shikaku didn't really like humans, so he must have drive his host mad. So that boy was probably bloodthirsty. With that, Naruto made his way towards Hokage's tower as he informed Hiruzen about the prospect of an invasion of Konoha. Hiruzen was shocked to hear that, as he listened to what Naruto had to say. He gave Naruto permission to watch Gaara, but to not interfere with him if he does not do anything that threatened Konoha. Knowing Naruto, he would kill first and then ask questions later, so he gave him direct orders not to hurt Gaara, unless he saw something that directly affected the village. Meanwhile, Inoichi went to speak to his daughter, as he was shocked. Ino was different. He had not been paying much attention, but she has grown. She was no longer his little daddy's girl. She was different. Something about her, he just couldn't put his finger on it. but maybe it's because of her becoming a true kunoichi. He forbid her from being an item with Naruto, but she told him that they were never really dating each other. For that he was relieved, but he told her that nothing can truly happen because of who Naruto was. To his surprise, she was not angry, instead she was just so calm, and that scared him more. As he tried to talk to her, she was responsive and so calm. As he thought that everything went along well, but, well, she was just too calm. He then spoke to his wife, who was upset to hear that he said that, but after explaining, he thinks she understood. As she didn't want her daughter to get hurt as much as her daughter might love this person, well, her safety come first. When the Chunin exam finally came around, Ino didn't look too happy about something, as Naruto know that look. So he spoke to her about it, but she tried telling that she was fine, but he already knew what the problem was. He thought this might come, as he told her about her father. She was surprised that he already knew. But this was the reason why she had been pushing herself. To prove to herself and him that she was a real kunoichi and not some joke. As he comforted her, it was then that Naruto saw Kabuto Yakuji. If Naruto was not mistaken, which he's sure he was not, he had seen that face before. But without a Konoha headband, this guy was definitely a spy. As he watched him carefully, he decided not to say anything. He decided to wait until the exam was done. Then he would hunt him down himself after speaking to Hokage. Something felt off as they performed the exam. Really off. They made their way to the second round. As Anko tried to make Naruto pay attention, seeing that he was not looking, it was then that she realized who he was. As she smiled in a rather seductive way and winked at him. Understand that this was a ghost that she was dealing with. Someone that she actually admired. She liked his work. Making their way into the forest, it didn't take long for them to be attacked by a giant snake as Naruto sliced in half. The person that showed up as Naruto told him to drop the axe. Orochimaru was surprised that he knew that it was him already. Well, he shouldn't be surprised. He had heard that the ghost was immensely smart. Naruto told Sakura to run as he knocked Sasuke out, creating a clone and picked him up. Sakura was confused, but he told her to run. As she told him not to get himself hurt, she moved off with the clone carrying Sasuke. Orochimaru rocked past Naruto to grab Sasuke and the clone. Instead, his right arm was severed off, and a fist slammed into his face. The next thing he knew, he heard Rasengan as he saw the ball about to drill right into him. So yeah guys, basically let's pull it off. You guys can switch across the place for yourself. So what do you say we jump right into the new episode? Let's get right into it, guys. Orochimaru was a man of great power, skills, and knowledge. When he first heard about the ghosts, he got interested. It has been a long while since anyone has, well, proclaimed to be a strong Anvu, since the likes of Kakashi Hatake and Itachi Uchiha. Anvus were there, but they weren't that really well known. But the ghost was an enigma. He struck fear in the hearts of people without even being there. People doing bad deals in certain areas were afraid, hiring extra protective services because they thought the ghosts would come and find them. More than one of his bases and some of his dealings had gone down the toilet because the ghost had interrupted. He had never left a single person alive. If you were his target, well, you were good as dead. It was said that he never failed a mission. There was a lot of rumors made up, but the thing was, people doesn't actually see the ghosts. Their mind just start to play many thoughts in dealers and all those things. He might be there, but the ones that survive that was not his target doesn't actually see him. They just reclaim stories that spread and gain incredible propaganda behind it. Because the ghost never really showed himself to anyone. So that is why so many people were glad when they found out that his name was Naruto Uzumaki. There was a lot of people that want him dead. But there was a difference between thinking something and actually doing it. Doing it was a lot harder. It's been a while since Orochimaru been so surprised. A very long while. It was so fast. His right arm had been severed completely. A Rasengan was currently drilling into his guts. Having no time to waste, he opened his mouth. Immediately, another Orochimaru slipped through with a white blade coming from his throat. The ghost was as good as dead. To Orochimaru's shock, Naruto bent his body back. His reflex was so incredible. The movement, he was so fast. Orochimaru whipped over his head and landed. But the thing was, knowing that sooner or later that Morpheus' envoys arrive, he have to get Sasuke. So Orochimaru wastes no time. He flashed through Hansa at a ridiculous rate. Wind style. Violent ear pressure, he said. He released a torrent. It was so powerful that giant trees in the forest of death start to creak and bend under the force before they snap. He released an onslaught that destroyed at least 20 trees as they collapsed, destroying everything around them. But the snake Sanin wastes no time. He moved with an impossible rate, swifting through the forest, moving with impressive speed. There is no way that the ghost would be able to find him. As he located the Uchiha and the clone, they might have been moving fast, but the girl was slowing them down, because he knew that that was not the ghost's real speed. As Orochimaru could sense him up ahead, he moved. His body fully regenerated after shifting his skin. They would not escape him. The Uchiha would not escape him. Those eyes will be his. As Orochimaru saw them in his view as he launched. But to his surprise, he had to duck. The tree in front of him was pierced right through. A chain? The boy was yanked forward by his chain. Orochimaru brought out his Kusanagi blade and blocked. He was surprised by the blade that the child was holding. Where has he seen that blade before? It had a red handle. It was so dark crimson you might thought that it was black. But it was dark crimson, seen brightly under the sun, but in a dark place you would not even notice. There was no reflection, no glow, fitting for an Anfu. The sword was a clean black cut, with no reflective surfaces. It looked like it was a mix between a katana and an oriki. Orochimaru could swear on his life that he's seen that blade before, but it was just not coming to mind. To his surprise, he felt himself being pushed back. There's no possible way this kid was that strong. Before he could apply more pressure or ponder on it, he twisted his body to the side as a chain whipped past him. Once again, that chain. Where was it coming from? His eyes followed the chain, but he had to move back, flipping several feet. It was then that the blonde shot towards him once again, using the chains to repel himself forward. The both of them clashed in a deadly kinjutsu, sparks flying everywhere. Orochimaru was surprised that he couldn't take this lightly. Not only could he not exert himself too much because he would give away his spot, but this battle would definitely cause commotion. Orochimaru saw open as he thrust his fist forward, while aiming the blade towards the boy's face. To his surprise, the boy moved. It was a trick, a diversion. Him being fooled. His thoughts of catching Sasuke so quickly, he left himself wide open. The next thing he knew, a hand chopped him in the throat. Orochimaru gasped a bit as he stepped back, his body leaning back as the boy brought the blade down toward his skull. But he twisted his leg and brought it around, his legs instantly shifting into a snake tail. He then proceeded to use that tail to whip Naruto across the face. His body was thrown as Naruto smashed into a tree. Orochimaru did not give him time to recover. Moving with the grace and speed of a Sanin, he pounced on the blonde, bringing his blade down to arc the blonde neck clean off. To his surprise, as he brought the blade down, a clone poofed in reality right in front of him, and grabbed the blade by slapping both of his hands together, holding it. Orochimaru was confused. When did he poof poof poof? The snake Sanin eyes went wide as 4 clones appeared, all around him, their hands generating Rasengan. They slammed it forward. Orochimaru leaped up in the air just in time, but to his shock and amazement, the real Naruto flashed through hand sign, wind style, uprising current, he said. The clones dissipated as Naruto wind style blew. It literally blew the balls of Rasengan upwards. With a short time, it was not allowed to dissipate. Orochimaru brought his arms in front of him, the jutsus imploding on him. His body was thrown as he crashed over to the side, his face planted in the ground. Naruto pulled himself out of a tree as he started to walk forward, blade in hand. The ground in front of him broke as Orochimaru came out, a white blade coming from his throat. Naruto leaned, but not fast enough, as the blade slashed him right across the face. It tore from his cheek, slicing over his right eye. Seeing this, Orochimaru turned his body and backhanded Naruto to the side. He then flashed above Naruto, his hand already going through hand sign. He spewed out a flame like a dragon. The area was swallowed in flames. Wasting no time, he released a Winjutsu. Infused with the fire, the flames got hotter and burned brighter. He then turned his sights towards Sasuke. Only 400s, if he was not mistaken, hundreds of chains, to just start impaling the area. The snake's haunting eyes went wide. Quickly substituting a log was rendered to splinters. The chains started to glow a vibrant color as spikes started to protrude from them as they shot in all different directions, ripping apart the forest. Orochimaru clashed with the chains violently. With all that he got, well, he was not going all out, but he couldn't afford to do that in the state that he was currently in. In the forest where the Hokage would sense his malicious chakra, well, one of the other envoys outside, he just had to kill this damn brat. Even though he was not going 100%, the brat was actually making him work for it. Their blades clash, blade against chain. Orochimaru found himself disarmed as one of the chains wrapped around his wrist. He pulled his arm back only for the chain to tear his wrist so badly blood started to drip. It was then that he ducked. Some of his hair got sliced off. Jumping back, Orochimaru landed. As the child stood there, blood was dripping down his face from the cut that Orochimaru gave him earlier, and he was panting a bit. Getting tired, are we? Orochimaru asked. Naruto took one more breath as he just stopped. As he calmed down. I won't let you get to Sasuke. Know that I know that he's your target. And you cannot pass me with the state that you're currently going at. Orochimaru chuckled, finding it rather amusing. Do you actually think that you can defeat me? I'm a Sannin boy. Your title means nothing to me. You're right. At the state I am right now, I cannot hope to defeat you. But you're holding back because you fear the Hokage coming here. And if that were to happen, there was no way that you'd be leaving here alive. Especially with the envoys I called earlier, said Naruto, who should be here any time shortly. Orochimaru snarled in anger at that, before the snarl turned into a smile. I must say, when I heard the name Ghost, I never expected that much. I just thought, an envoy with a bit of power and people think that he's some kind of special person, but you're indeed special, Naruto-kun, Orochimaru said, as he licked his lips. I'll be watching you from now on. You will prove to be interesting in the future. But I assure you, no one can stop me from getting what I want. And don't you think of telling the old man to try and stop the exam, because if he does, I will burn Konoha down to the ground. As Naruto's eyes became cold, if something like that were to happen, there will be nowhere on this earth that you can hide from me. Orochimaru stared back into those eyes defiantly, as his grin seemed to widen. That look in your eyes, a cold-blooded murderer. I love it, Orochimaru said. I must say it's been a long time since I got this excited of fighting someone. Ghosts, I will be looking forward to us having another throwdown once again. Orochimaru turned his gaze, but not here. Very, very soon though, he said. He went through hand sign as he burned away, his body literally burning away. He was not going after Sasuke though, fearing the envoys that might be coming. Well, that was a lie. Naruto did not call any envoys. He had the clones instead went towards Sasuke and Sakura. And he got them somewhere safe, knowing that if Orochimaru were to really fight the envoys, they would die. And that would be just a waste of Konoha manpower, when he could bluff and have him run away. Naruto sat down as his chains retracted back. It's been a long while since he had to fight so hard. The spikes on the chains all returning back to normal. He reached up as he looked at his finger, blood. As he wiped the blood away, as some of it started leaking his eyes. Pulling out a pack from his back, he started to place some bandage, just two small ones over the cut, one down the bottom. Because of the Kyuubi though, with a constant drip of Kyuubi's chakra in his veins, it will heal without a scar. It was then that he heard a voice in his head. You know, when you allow me to be able to see through your eyes, especially when you're on the verge of taking my chakra, you refusing and not giving me an interesting match is something I don't like. You're talking to me, said Naruto. Don't think it's because you're special or anything, but I'm curious. Why did you hold back? As Naruto looked at his hands, even if I had fought him for real, I doubt I'll be able to kill him. The title of Sannin is not only a title. Out of the Slug Princess and Jiraiya, I believe that Orochimaru is the strongest. He was a student of the third after all. I doubt it be that easy to kill him, even with your chakra. Not to mention he's hard to really kill. But he will be back, from what he says. And I have to be prepared, said Naruto. It seems like soon I'll have to reveal that, he said to himself as he continued to walk. Meanwhile, Sakura was holding on to the sleeping Sasuke, as she didn't know what was going on. The clones outside said that they should stay in here. It had brought them towards a secret place, some kind of hollowed hut. She was sure that they were underground, but where underground she was not sure. It was then that she heard walking. She prepared herself, only to see that it was Naruto. Are you a clone? She asked. No, I'm the real Naruto. Sakura sighed in relief. You're right, she said. I told you I would be. What happened? Where is that Orochimaru guy? What did he want? At the moment I'm not sure, but Naruto glanced towards Sasuke. He's a part of it. Sakura gulped, knowing that whatever he wants is not good. What do we do? We still have to... No, said Naruto as he pulled out a scroll. When did you... As Naruto walked over, he reached down. He brought his two fingers towards Sasuke's skull. Sasuke's eyes snapped open as he looked around. What happened? He said. Where am I? He looked downright confused. Sakura? Naruto? What happened? He asked. I'll explain along the way, said Naruto. With that they moved. Time skip. Anko. She had saw the face of the ninjas, and she was fearing that he was here, but as she moved to the forest, she couldn't find the snake Sannin anywhere. So she had made her way to the tower. There wasn't any teams that should be coming by now. After all, if a team were to come by now, they would shatter all old records, which wouldn't be Anko froze as she saw Team 7 walked in. She stepped over. She looked towards the clock. There's something I need to talk to you about. Something urgent, said Naruto, his tones showing that he was not joking. Anko nodded as she was confused what was going on, as he told Sakura and Sasuke to stay here. With that, he stepped apart. Orochimaru is here. Anko clenched her fists. I knew it. The moment I saw those faces. I have already sent a clone to inform the Hokage about the proceedings. I doubt that he is in the forest anymore, after what I've told him. But I'm not sure exactly where he is, or if he will come here. But it seems like Sasuke over there is his target. Knowing your history with him, I think it's best if you leave. Anko looked at him in confusion. You want me to leave? Yes. If he were to show his face here right now, you will lose control, and that will jeopardize everything. What? Anko frowned at that. First thing, brat, she said, I have control over my emotions, and second thing, I'm not going anywhere. Besides, you can't tell me to leave. Have you forgotten you're a mere genin? And if he were to show his face here, I will be needed. No, you will not, said Naruto. Anko frowned. Look here, brat, just see what I mean, said Naruto. Just a few words from me, and you're already angry, as he pointed towards her hand that was clenching tightly. That doesn't mean anything, she said, as Naruto looked her over. Fine then. But if anything happens, Do not get in my way. I should say the same thing to you, she said, a bit pissed off that this brat was so cocky. By the way, what happened over there? You seem to be fine. While you're strong and all, you wouldn't be a match for someone like him. Most people aren't. And if I am not, what makes you think you are either? Uncle frowned. What? I am saying, if I were to lose to him, that means you will lose as well. Are you implying that you're stronger than me? She asks. I did not say anything like that, said Naruto. I'm merely stating if I were to lose, if you will lose as well. That's implying that you're stronger than me. Naruto gave her a look, like he was looking at her like she was stupid, and that pissed her off. He took a breath. I apologize, he said. I didn't mean that way. Can we start over? I didn't mean to offend you, he said. Fine, she said. She was unnerved by how calm he was. Did you really fight him? Yes, said Naruto. And you got him to flee? Yes, said Naruto. And you're so calm. Why? A shinobi must never get truly emotional, otherwise it will definitely cost you your life. As Uncle looked at him once again. Huh. I know Anvus, yet you're a rather different one. How so? Said Naruto. I can't really say, she said. Don't know myself, but you're just different. As she couldn't put it into words. I've got that before. Yeah, I would say, she said as she looked at him. Well, you guys are the first team here. And if he's after your friend over there, we're gonna have to keep an eye on him. Sasuke is a strange individual. If you let him know that someone is coming and we're trying to baby him, he will do something stupid, so the best thing to do right now is to just pretend like everything is alright, while watching from a distance. Well, you know him best. Fine. The Hokage should get here soon anyway. I doubt the damn snake will try anything then. Although I hope, so that I can finally kill him once and for all. Naruto gave her a look once again, as he seemed to just be looking at her. Two Chunins came in the room. Uncle, what? They looked at Naruto confused. Did you bring them here? No, he got here. The two Chunins looked towards the clock. But, what? They were surprised. Rather shocked that they got here so early. What can I say? They're not normal, Uncle said. The next team to come in was the Sand team. As Gaara noticed Naruto, but he said nothing. On the contrary, Gaara was looking around. He didn't know why, but since he came to Konoha, he had the feeling that he was being watched. But so far he has not seen a single reason to let him believe that he was. There was nothing. But he just had a weird feeling that someone was watching him. But he couldn't see or really tell if anyone was there. And that was starting to annoy him. With that, the rest of the team started to come in. As Konoha Team 7 had to wait until 5 days. Hiruzen came as Naruto and him spoke together. The possibility of Orochimaru being here, with the threat of him coming after Sasuke, could only mean one thing. With what Naruto knew and what Hiruzen told him, Orochimaru seeks power. Sasuke had something that can gain power quickly. The Sharingan. So aside from plucking it out of his eyes, Naruto wasn't sure what, exactly, Orochimaru wanted. Hiruzen did place him on team protect Sasuke though. So he would fight and protect the Uchiha, with the best of his abilities. The remaining days fly by rather quickly. Naruto felt a small smile tugging at his lips when he saw Ino and her team step inside. They looked a bit worn out, but nothing too bad. They arrived on the third day. Ino saw him as she immediately came up to greet him, with a happy smile on her face. More teams started to pile in. By the end of the day, there was a Sound team, the Sand team, and the rest of them was the Konoha teams. Most of the participants didn't really make it that far. On the 5th day, as everyone acted like everything was cool, Team 7 got a lot of time to rest. So they were ready when the time finally came. As Hiruzen was playing it cool and calm, knowing that he was a dangerous person in the village right now, unaware where he was. So with that, he went up towards the podium. Alright everyone, congratulations for making it this far. as he started to give them a speech. Once he was done, he was about to go through with the as someone coughed, Hokage-sama, if you may, allow me to do this part. As he turned towards the proctor, as he handed the dealings over towards Hayate. My name is Hayate and I'll be the proctor for the preliminary round. Preliminary, said Kiba. There are too much of you here. In the finals, there will be a lot of important people within Konoha to see you fight. And having so much of you here would be too long and draw things out. So that is why we're going to cut those numbers down. If you don't feel like you're ready for this, you may leave. A hand slowly raised up. I don't think I'm fully recovered from what happened in the forest. So I think I'm gonna quit, said Kabuto. Naruto glanced towards Hiruzen. Hiruzen nodded his head softly. Naruto was right. As Kabuto slowly was told to leave, so he made his way calmly, leaving his two teammates given that they were not going to be disqualified. As Naruto's eyes focused on them. As Hayate then pointed towards the board and explained the rules. Once he was done, the first name to pop up was Sasuke versus one of Kabuto's teammates, Yori. This fight didn't last much long, as Sasuke dominated his fight. Shikamaru's name was called to face off against a girl from his own team known as Kin. He had her knocked herself out. The rest of the matches were plain, as no one really died. It was rather simple. Shino facing off against Zaku, and Shino winning by clogging up the holes in his arms. That was a gruesome sight, but he was not dead. He was taken away to the infirmary, as Ino was standing beside Naruto despite her team being over there. So, who do you think you're gonna go up against, she asks. I'm not sure, said Naruto as he glanced down. What about you? Well, I'm not sure either, she said. I'm not really worried about anyone here, but I hope that we don't have to fight. I'm not ready for that yet. Yet, said Naruto. Of course, she said. When the time comes, I will challenge you. And then I'll kick your ass, she said. Huh. Bold of you to claim that you're gonna defeat your own trainer, said Naruto. Well, of course, Ino said. The student must surpass the master after all. Maybe you're right, said Naruto, as he had a small smile on his face. Ino saw her name popped up on the board, and what Naruto saw, it unnerved him a bit. The name that was next to hers was Gaara of the Sun. The Konoha ninjas, especially Jonins, look a bit unnerved by that, as Naruto seemed to just watch carefully. Ino looked down. Gaara, huh? I wonder who that is. It was then that she saw the guy moving. Great. Of all people, why him? That was the one that was looking at you strange in the first part of the test. He gave me the creeps. But it doesn't matter, this is what I've been training for, she said. I'll win. Ino, said Naruto. She glanced up towards him. He whispered in her ear, whatever you do, don't use your mind transfer jutsu on him. Please, just trust me. She was confused, but he would never do anything to hurt her. So she decided to trust him, seeing the look on his face. I'll explain everything soon, but for now, just don't use it. Please, he said. She saw that something must be up, so she decided to trust Naruto. After all, he never did anything to hurt her. Alright, she said. She would rely on her other skills. As he nodded to her, as he watched her made her way down there to fight Gaara. It was then that he heard a chuckle in his head. What's so funny, said Naruto. I think I'm starting to figure you out, the voice of the fox said. You know, not that I mind, but you're a lot talkative today, said Naruto. As the fox remained quiet after that, but he sounded rather amused. I don't like this, said Sakura. That guy, he gave me the creep. Naruto, do you think Ino's gonna be okay? She's trained hard for this. She will be prepared. Sorry to say this, but no, she won't. She doesn't stand a chance against Gaara. It's best if she gave up right now. As Naruto turned his gaze towards the guy, with the puppet on his back. It is not my way to tell someone to give up on their dream. Well, you should. Gaara isn't like any other shinobi, he said with a smirk. You just watch and see. Sakura turned towards Kakashi-sensei, as she saw even look in his one eye. As Asuma glanced down there, he then turned towards Naruto. Kakashi doing the same, but Naruto remained perfectly calm, as Hiruzen glanced towards Naruto as well. But Naruto was calm, It was then that Gaara saw Naruto looking down at him with a vicious smile. He then turned back down towards Ino. "You might not be the one I want to kill, but at least you will do for now," he said. "Perhaps mother will enjoy your blood." Ino was confused. "Your mother will what?" she asked, confused, not understanding what he meant. As Gaara seemed to just chuckle. His chuckle was ominous and dark. "Are the both of you ready?" As the both of them nodded. "Begin!" The moment the proctor said that, Gaara lashed out with his sand. Ino reached into her pouch and pulled out 2 kunais. She tossed them as Gaara's sand swallowed it, only for the sand to explode. The kunais had explosive notes. She rushed forward. Gaara did not move as the sand came down and crushed her. Everyone watched until the sand exploded. "Another paper bomb," thought Kakashi to himself as he watched. As Otsuma watched his student carefully, Choji and Shikamaru doing the same, everyone. But Kankuro and Temari already knew the outcome of this. As Naruto remained calm, Sasuke glanced towards him. Naruto and Ino had been spending a lot of time together, so he wondered if he would be upset if she got hurt. But Sasuke said nothing, neither did Sakura, as they both just watched everything proceed as they were. Gaara looked around. "You think hiding would do you any good?" he said. He shot his sand over towards the corner as Ino jumped out. The sand hit in the wall. It was then that she flashed through hand sign. She then took in a deep breath. "Fire style," she said. "Fireball jutsu!" She spewed fire out of her mouth that connected Gaara's sand. The flames were not that hot to crystallize the sand. So Gaara's sand started to overpower it after a while, but Ino released a jutsu. Gaara then raised his hand as sand shot forward, a lot faster than before. "Die," he said. The sand crushed Ino in the wall. As Gaara started to apply more pressure, until Ino's body poofed away. "A clone," said Gaara. His sand swept around him. But there was nothing there. The ground beneath him then started to crack. Ino burst out of it. Her hand already locked in the dragon seal. She spewed fire out of her mouth directly. To her shot though, the sand came up. So fast. She winced in pain as she was thrown back, the attack imploding right on her. Her arms got burned a bit, but she was fine. His defense is so fast, she thought to herself. She looked more exhausted than she should be, as everyone noticed that. She kept on throwing kunais as Gaara started to get angry. Seeing that this was a waste of his time, he decided to end her life. His sand lashed out to grab her, to squeeze her to death. But that is when Ino smirked. As she watched, most of the sand came towards her. "Gotcha," she said. She then flashed through hand sign. Gaara looked down as the ground cracked. A sizable explosion and rocked the area that he stood. His body was thrown. He smashed into the wall rather viciously. "What just happened? Where did that explosion come from?" said Kiba, confused. That is when Kakashi watched. So did Asuma as they saw the broken kunais on the ground. That is why she was so exhausted. She had a clone busy tunneling underground. She didn't have enough chakra to create multiple clones, so it took a lot out of her. She was planting the perfect bomb for him, which he fell right into after sending away so much of his sand. There was not enough to block him. Everyone watched as Gaara picked himself up though. His body was falling apart. What the hell? No, his body was cracking. What is that? It doesn't matter if she got him, she would not be able to get past his second defense, which as you can see is reforming, said Kankuro. As I said, she stands no chance. Ino frowned as she realized that this guy, she couldn't beat him as she was. She would have to use that technique. The voice of Suki came in her head. It's not finished. If you use that, you will get hurt. But it's a chance that she had to take. She looked up towards Naruto as she saw him looking down at her. His eyes showed little to no emotion. He was just so calm. She has to do it. With that, she created another clone. Much to the surprise of the Jonins. 3 clones even though she didn't create them at the same time. That was taken out of her chakra. She nodded to the clone, who kept on throwing kunais towards Gaara, distracting him. Gaara had enough of the distraction, so he grabbed the clone and squeezed it, just like what he was about to do to Ino. But she was already finished with her hand sign. Fire style, she said. twin searing dragon. She spewed a massive flame that curled up into a massive serpent creature as the thing then screeched before it shot forward. Kakashi was surprised at her knowing that level of jutsu. He glanced towards Naruto, who was still so calm. Gaara saw the dragon coming. He simply raised a wall of sand. It was then that the fire burned into it. He thought his sand would deflect it, but to his surprise, the dragon split. Ino was releasing a lot of chakra to keep it contained. It was then that Gaara noticed a thin stream of flames come from her mouth. She was still infused in her technique. As she dropped to one knee, the dragon split into two before converging, forcing Gaara to jump back. It slammed down in the area. "Now," said Ino, as she bite down hard, causing a click with her teeth. As the spark ignites, Ino cried in pain as she burned herself. Suki warned her, but the technique still went off. The dragon imploded. Gaara was thrown backwards, the flames licking at his skin rather harshly. The fire was so intense it managed to crystallize some of his sand, and his body hit the wall. Ino panted as she dropped to both arms and legs. She was tired, but she could not give up. She was gonna win this, she thought to herself. As she got up, only for her to scream out in pain when a wall of sand slammed into her. She hit the wall rather viciously as she cried out. The sand pulled Gaara back to his feet, as he had this look on his face, like he was going insane. As he smiled, a sick, twisted smile. "She's dead," said Temari. As Gaara started to walk over, "You've proven yourself," he said. "Mother will definitely enjoy your blood." The sand on his face started to reform, as his body was returning back normal from the crack-up state. As he started to approach down Ino as she got to her feet and threw her kunai, but the sand knocked it away and slammed her in the wall once again. She cried out in pain. That is when Gaara heard a sizzle. The kunai that she threw, the tag on it went off. Boom! It slammed him down on the ground. But his sand took most of the effect. He got up in pure anger, annoyed that this girl was making him work so hard to kill her. Ino looked up towards Naruto. It was then that she saw him mouth the words, "You did your best." Her body was unable to go on, as she collapsed to her knees. Hayate noticed that. "Stop," he said. "The match is over." But Gaara did not care as he shot the sand forward. "I said stop," Hayate moved forward. But Gaara was too close to Ino, and the look on his face he heard, but he just relished in the joy of killing her. Ino glanced up, looking all tired. She couldn't move fast enough. As Hayate flashed forward, but even with his sunshine, he was not close enough. He reached Gaara but not Ino in time, and the sand seemed to have a life of its own. Asuma leaped off the railings, but that is when the sand was blown away. As Naruto stood there, with a single wave of his hand, the sand had blown away, shocking Gaara. "I said that was enough," said Hayate. "Do you want to be disqualified?" "Oh, I'm sorry," said Gaara. "I might not have heard you." The look on his face surely said that he did. Hayate gave him a look. "Do something like that again, and you won't like it, as I said. I'm the one in charge here." Gaara looked at him with a gaze, before someone jumped down. "He's right, Gaara. I apologize that he went a bit overboard," said Baki. "Gaara sensei." Gaara glared at him. That is not what he wanted to say. Gaara looked forward towards Naruto, who had Ino in his arms. "I'm sorry," she said. "There's no need to be sorry," said Naruto. "You tried your best. We can't always win. I'm proud of you." There was a few tears in her eyes. "But I lost," she said. Despite that, he said, "Move the hero to her face. You did your best," as he brought her over towards the stretcher. "And for that, I'm proud of you." She smiled at that. "Thanks, Naruto," she said. As she passed out in his arms, he placed her on the stretcher. The medical ninja that looked up at Naruto. The man stepped back in fear when he saw Naruto's eyes. The absolute look of death. The man started to tremble as he moved away with the others. As Naruto turned his gaze towards Gaara, Gaara locked eyes with Naruto, as he seemed to be unafraid. As Naruto's face was blank. That look. That was the look I was waiting for, said Gaara. I knew it from the day we met. You will be one of them that will prove my existence. I'm telling you here and now, you will be the next one, said Gaara, as Naruto kept on looking at him. Don't let him rile you up, said Asuma as he patted Naruto on the shoulder. Don't do something stupid that you might regret. Rile me up, said Naruto. I am perfectly calm. Asuma looked towards Naruto. He looked calm, but look in his eyes was clearly showing that he was not. She should be fine, said Asuma, as he watched as the medics took Ino away. Yes, she'll be alright, said Naruto. It's a shame I didn't get to kill her, said Gaara, as Naruto walked towards him and stopped a few feet away from him. Before he simply walked past Gaara, Gaara frowned that he did not get what he wanted. He didn't see the look in his eyes anymore. Gaara didn't know why, but this one intrigued him, and he will push him to the breaking point, and then he will kill him and feed his blood to Mother. Going back up the stairs. Are you alright, Naruto? Sakura asks. Yes, I'm fine. Sasuke said nothing though. The last time he saw a look on Naruto's face was when he was getting out of the rank missions, and the place had become so cold, while now the place was not that cold. Or, Sasuke not seeing his full eyes, the look was still unnerving. Gaara made his way back up to his siblings as he smirked, looking over at Naruto, who didn't seem to be looking at him. Sakura went down there to face off against Kankuro. While she had improved, she was still no match for Kankuro, as he defeated her. She wasn't too bad off, she didn't even have to go to the infirmary. It was just his puppets he captured inside of one of them, and she was forced to give up. The next match was Lee versus Mitsumi. Lee dominated the match, like nothing has ever been seen before. 10-10 lose to Temari. As Naruto looked up when his name was called, Kiba Inazaka. Kiba smirked at that. It's no doubt they would give me this match. And what makes you say that? Asked Kurenai. Well, I heard some rumors that Naruto was this so-called powerful ninja. I've always wanted to test it for myself. Besides, it's about time I show how awesome I am. Kiba, I don't think that it's right that you face him. Huh? What are you talking about, Kurenai-sensei? Well, the rumors that you heard are indeed true. And I actually look forward. Ever since he saw that match between Ino and Gaara, his face had become so cold, so unflinching, so unmoving. It kind of scared Kurenai, as she tried to look away. Despite being a kid, he was dangerous. There's nothing for you to worry about. I'll win this, said Kiba. Given what Kurenai-sensei has said, I find that highly illogical, said Chino. What? You doubt me as well? I don't doubt you, Kiba, said Kurenai. It's just that you just watch, he says he jumped off the podium. Kakashi stopped Naruto. Now Naruto, remember, he's your comrade. There's no need to hurt him. As Naruto glanced up towards Kakashi, he said nothing and made his way down there. Kakashi could see that Naruto was fully aware of what he was doing, but it seems like he was struggling with something. Could it be his emotions? No, he was trained specifically for that. So what was going on in his head? Laughter could be heard from Kurama and Naruto's mind. Again I ask, what's so funny? You're so good at controlling your emotions that when the time comes for you to express them, it's hard, isn't it? I don't know what you're talking about, said Naruto. Rage. The rage that you're feeling right now. You're suppressing it as best as you can. But yet, it's so overwhelming. All you want to do right now is go over there and rip that guy's head clean off. Throughout the years, you have never had someone that you saw get hurt before you. Someone that you actually cared about. Your friends in Onvus could always protect themselves. And even when they died in honor. You respected them, but you never had any strong feelings for them as you do for that girl down there. Seems, over the time, she has managed to worm her way in your heart. And you find this funny, said Naruto. If I can't be free, then your misery will amuse me, said Kurama. I want to see how this plays out. As Naruto went silent, ignoring him, as he stood there rather calmly, he looked up towards Kiba. Alright, hotshot, said Kiba. Since you entered the academy on the last day, I knew that something was off about you. You're not like the normal ninjas. No, I hear that you're rather strong. How about Kiba, said Naruto. His tone was calm. You should give up. You tell me to give up? Huh, you must be mistaken about how things are gonna play out, said Kiba as he placed Akamaru down. Akamaru ran away, whimpering. Kiba looked behind him. What's wrong, boy? He said, confused. He then turned towards Naruto. Hey, what did you do to Akamaru? It was then that Kiba looked into Naruto's eyes for the first time. Kiba felt a sense of fear wash over him. With his clan mentality for alphas, he felt himself being pushed down, like he was the beta and looking at the alpha in front of him. Akamaru was barking at him to move, to get out of there, but he was stuck. Are you ready to begin? Hayate asked. As Naruto nodded, Kiba was unable to move. Just by glancing Naruto's eyes, he was trembling. As Akamaru barked loudly, as Kiba kept on looking Naruto's eyes, the feeling of fear got so much worse, until he dropped to one knee, panting. I can't do this, he said, his entire body trembling. Well, that's one scary brat, said Uncle. The others had to agree. Do you not wish to compete? Asked Hayate. No, I give up, said Kiba. He looked ashamed as Naruto walked over. He placed a hand on Kiba's shoulder. Kiba could not look up. It's alright, said Naruto. I apologize. I guess I'm having more problems than I thought. What did you do to me? Said Kiba. Your clan specializes on alpha, and the meaning behind that. You should know, said Naruto. Kiba felt humiliated, but at the same time he knew that Naruto was not someone to be trifled with. With a mere glance, he was able to feel himself cowering down. Hey, how did you make him give up with just one look? Sasuke asked. Years of hard work and training, said Naruto. Sasuke frowned at that. I knew it wouldn't be too simple, he said. The next match was Hinata versus Neji. The match didn't last too long. Hinata gave up after realizing that she couldn't go on. She didn't have the courage pushing her, and Neji's words of encouragement brought her down. So she gave up, but she would have lost anyway. So with that, the finals were set, as they were all called down there. They were all given a number. Once their number was called, Gaara grinned happily. The first match was Temari versus Shikamaru. The second match was Shino versus Neji. The third match was Dosu versus Sasuke. The fourth match was Naruto versus Gaara. Gaara was happy for that. As the matches were listed out, Gaara did not care about anything else other than looking at Naruto with that look on his face. A look of death. But he will soon find out who is the true monster between him and the ghosts. Meanwhile, Kabuto had been a spy for years, and he knew when he was being watched, they were good. But his intelligence and his stealth, his ability of spying was on a different level. Somehow, Konoha was suspicious of him. This was not good. In fact, this was really bad. He had to leave, as he could feel their eyes all over him. It was only a moment of time before they tried to subdue him, as he walked in the crowd of the people of Konoha. As he turned the alleyway, as the envoy radio in, where the hell did he go? I don't know. As they scoured the place, but Kabuto was gone. As he ran, he didn't know the hell they'd find out. But does this mean that they knew about the invasion? He had to talk to his lord. Meanwhile that was happening, Jiraiya the Sannin finally returned back to the village, as he was feeling a bit nervous. He was gonna meet his godson for the first time. and he didn't know how his godson would take it. So yeah, he was nervous. But guys, be subscribe right here. For what's more to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on the bell notification, say posted, but I'm for now, see you guys soon. Peace.